Hey guys, Jackson here, back with another video. Before we begin, spoiler warning for The Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 6. Now I'm usually a positive Pete, and tend to enjoy all mainstream Star Wars, even the sequel trilogy, but my god, that episode was the pure definition of garbage. And it genuinely pains me to say that, as The Mandalorian has been one of my favourite Star Wars projects to date, especially Season 1 and 2. But this season has been beyond average, and this episode tipped the scale into mediocrity. Even my fiance thought it was pants, and she doesn't care much for the overarching story or world of Star Wars. We're 6 episodes into this season, with only 2 episodes to go. And they give us a filler episode of bloody Jack Black and Lizzo. No disrespect to them as actors or as people, but this is Star Wars and my immersion was completely broken. And from looking at social media, as well as traditional review platforms, this has been poorly received. Yes, there have been some good moments in this season, but we're coming up to the business end of the season and this went down like a lead balloon. The last thing they needed was a stinker of an episode after the viewership figures were released, and indicating a downward trend from the previous seasons. Okay, I've calmed down a bit now and will at least admit it was fun seeing Ognaut again and our boy Kuil being name dropped. Heck, it was even fun seeing battle droids again. But what the hell was that chase scene? Imagine if super battle droids ran like that in the Clone Wars. Utterly ridiculous. Count Dooku being name dropped is always welcome, as well as anything separatist related, but that's where the positives end. Even the final 10 minutes of the episode, that actually had some form of meaning to the overarching story, was still meh. Din just handing over the Darksaber to Bo-Katan makes sense, story-wise at least, as we know Din has never really cared for it, and we did see him lose to the alien on Mandalore, but come on now, it would have been so much more exciting if they had done a trial by combat, and Bo won it fair and square. Minor spoilers quickly for Game of Thrones, so feel free to skip ahead if you still haven't watched it, but Din Djarin and Bo-Katan are giving me major Jon Snow and Daenerys vibes, with Din playing the simp role and rejecting leadership, and confessing Bo as his queen. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Bo-Katan ends up being the villain by the end of this show, and Din ends up killing her for the sake of Mandalore and all the Mandalorians. But for now I will 360 back and say I do low-key ship them. Back to the episode. Surely I wasn't the only one expecting to finally see Moff Gideon again, after that cliffhanger from last week as well. They even did us dirty with the intro segment, with an Imperial ship turning up on the scanner of that alien ship. The Beskar found in the transportation ship seems to be a red herring as well, as the only Mandalorians that we know of that would have either freed or killed Moff Gideon were seen in this episode, and there was no mention of him. I mean, in summary, I'm just frankly upset and disappointed with Star Wars Disney right now, and how The Mandalorian Season 3 is panning out. 2 episodes to go and we still haven't had a satisfying conclusion to any of the story strands. Also, for as much as I love Grogu, it feels like his story arc should have ended with Season 2 of the show. And right now it would make literally no difference to the story if he was in it or not, except for that one scene where he saves Mando by getting Bo-Katan. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this week's episode and the season as a whole. Am I overreacting, or do you agree with me that this season has been a disappointment? If you're new here, then a warm welcome to you, and please consider subscribing to my channel for more content. We're on the road to 100 subs at present, and thank you to anyone that has already subscribed. It means the absolute world to me. And I'll see you next time, guys.